Meeting to order, 7:05. Please remove your hats. Anybody recording here tonight? Okay, shall we stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. Two of our members are not here this evening, so there'll be four of us on the board. I'd like to have the approval of the minutes.
I approve the minutes. Second.
We don't have to have a, no, I just approve of the minutes. Any corrections? If there are none, they stand as read. I'm sorry, you were talking. We're approving the minutes of September 21, 2022. All had a chance to review them. I'll repeat again, any corrections to the minutes? If there are none, they stand as read. May I have the correspondence? Ken will read this correspondence. Gail is not available today.
Okay, bear with me. This is the first time I've ever tried to read something in public. Dear BCPO Board of Directors, I would like to request that the annual Brookridge Expo Senior Information Day be scheduled for Wednesday, January 25th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the clubhouse. This event is for Brookridge residents. I am also requesting that outside vendors be invited to participate. Brookridge clubs will also be offered free participation. Thank you in advance. I hope to see you there. Patrona Terman. With this letter, I would like to make a motion that the Senior Information and Expo Day to be held on January 25th from 10 to 1 at the clubhouse with Brookridge residents, and additionally allow other outside vendors and Brookridge clubs to participate.
May I have a second? Thank you, Jerry. All in favor? Motion carried. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, one more. Dear Board of Directors, Helping Hands is a Brookridge sewing for charity group. Our club supplies helpful items to hospice and the military area nursing home, children's hospital units, veteran centers, and others. While we accept donations, our only fundraiser is this annual pancake breakfast. We are asking for your consideration to approve the pancake breakfast to be held in the great room of the clubhouse, the one we're seated in, for Sunday, February 12th, from 7:30 in the morning till 11:30 a.m. To prepare, we would like to have access by at least 6 a.m. In the past, our group has not incurred any overtime charges for this event, and we would greatly appreciate you waiving that again and a fee again. Additionally, we are requesting people from the outside the community be allowed to attend the pancake breakfast. Thank you for your considerations. If you have any questions or comments, contact Mary Sweeney. I would like to make a motion to allow Helping Hands to hold their pancake breakfast for the Brookridge residents and outside guests on Sunday, February 12th in the clubhouse from 7:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning, and set up time to commence at 6 a.m. and to arrange it so that there are no overtime charges for staff.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I do not have a president's report at this time, so I will turn this over to Mrs. Biscari for the treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report for September. Treasurer's report, September 2022.
Summary report. Accounts, operating account ending balance, $118,978.58. Assessments, $327,693.92. VRC fines owed, $66,467.42. Liens on file, 27. Assessment income, $136,312.45. VRC fines, $1,475. Other income, $18,086, for a total income of $155,873.45. Operating expenses, administration, $28,298.12, which is 80% of our budget. Facilities, $27,040.70, which is 84% of the budget. Public Works, $27,262.92, 86% of the budget. Code enforcement, $43,079.46, 89% of the budget. Reserve account, year-to-date, $410,130, for a balance of $2,354,42555. There were no expenses in reserves for the month. Capital funds, donated funds, $25,785.06, a donation of $25. Reimbursement for the fall decorations, $581.71, and reimbursement for mulch, $102.95. Total paid out of donated funds, $184.66.
Are there any corrections or to the treasurer's report? If not, the treasurer's report stands as read. Oops. No, we do not vote. No. And members' comments, please. Members' comments. There is no excuse me.
I think Rosemary read out reimbursement falls.
I can't hear you, Linda, and I don't think anybody else can.
Linda Walsh, Unit 4. When Rosemary was reading out the treasurer's report on the donations for fall decorations, she said $581.71, and the report only shows $81.71.
I apologize. I probably read the dollar sign. I stand corrected. It's $81.71.
Our new business is the appointment of a new unit representative, and Ken will swear her in. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Carol.
So sorry, Carol.
Okay, I'm probably going to read the longest thing here. All right, Cindy Herrico. Oracle has been hired as the front desk coordinator and comes with a lot of front desk experience. Please be sure to welcome Cindy to the community. I want to thank the Beautification Committee for such a wonderful display of fall decorations throughout the community. I want to quickly clarify one of the amendments that was put up for a vote regarding a director missing 3 consecutive meetings. At the amendment meeting, a resident said that 2 of the bylaws contradict each other, and if the residents approve the amendment, the board would have the power to remove a director, which would take the power away from the residents. That is incorrect. Both amendments are separate from each other. Article 5, Section 7 stays the same, where only the members can vote to remove a director. The amendment change for Section 8 is a director who misses 3 consecutive regular meetings of the board will be deemed to have resigned. If something happens, Jerry brought this up at the last meeting, like what happened to Jerry, it states that the director is eligible for reappointment to fill their position. The ballot and the amendment ballots have been mailed out. If you have not received your ballots, you will be able to pick one up at the administration office on November 1st. Some residents received 2 budget ballots. Just return 1 ballot in the ballot envelope. If you accidentally return 2 budget ballots, only 1 will count, the other will be marked void. Also, please be sure to put the blue ballot envelope in the white return envelope before placing it in the ballot box. If you returned your ballot in only the blue envelope, it will be marked void, and you'll need to pick up another voting packet at the admin office. Anyone interested in running for the board of directors or unit representatives needs to come to the admin office and pick up a volunteer application. The deadline for submission is Monday, November 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. Just a reminder that all candidates must be BCPO members. Board candidates must be year-round. Residents of Brookridge and unit rep candidates are preferred to reside full-time in Brookridge. Okay, last, for anyone whose property is located within 500 feet of the development project next to Brookridge, Hernando County will be having 2 public hearings on the rezoning of the project. The first hearing is October 31st at 9:00 a.m. and the second hearing will be November 8th at 9 a.m. The admin office will send a reminder with additional information on a mass email. We will also post the hearing information here at the clubhouse and at the admin office. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Now we will appoint our new representatives. Sheila Walsh. Is Sheila here tonight? She is not here. Okay, then we'll postpone that till the next meeting. Okay. We have the report of directors now. Let me start with Rosemary.
At this time, I would like to ask Gil Langton to come up to the podium concerning the veterans.
Gil Langton, Unit 4. I'm here representing I'm the chair of the Veteran Committee, and I'm going to do a quick thank you to everybody that's involved. Dick Terrio he's the master ceremonies, doing a heck of a job. My crew that's helped me out, Rosemary, Paul Beauchesne, Steve Bastieri, Greg Ressler, Mike Green, Sally and Bill Litchfield, and Tom Freeman. I thank them very strongly for putting this together. Also the Men's Club for cooking for the meal, and the ladies of Brookridge to help out. The musicians to sing the songs that we need. we're going to put on a good celebration this year. It starts out with donuts and coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock, we're going to be outside and raising the flag, and then bring everybody inside. And we've got a pretty good program inside with the music is, the history of the Space Force, and we're going to have a few videos. I saw the videos, and if you don't have tears in your eyes, well, you don't have much of a heart for a veteran, because these are greatly taken care of. Mike Green is putting them on, and he's done very well with this. So I appreciate everybody that can come up and come and see this. This is going to be Friday the 11th. It starts at 8 in the morning with the coffee, and then until noon. Then at noon we're going to have a free hot dog meal that's put on by the men's club. At this time, I would like Tom Freeman to come up and update the new. We're sponsoring the Toys for Tots, and I'd like to have it updated for. Okay, Thomas.
Thomas Freeman, Unit 2. Some of you may have already noticed there are already boxes for Toys for Tots here in the clubhouse and one in the administration office. On November 7th, I've been given permission to take one to the Golf Association. Tuesday, we meet to open the warehouse and start the program. More information will follow. On the boxes, I have put information if you want to volunteer, how to contact a volunteer. Also on the box is if you have a family that wants to receive toys from the program, there's information on how to sign them up to receive. Last year, 33,000 kids received toys, average 3 to 5 toys per kid. 1,100 families in total. It's strictly for Hernando County. As things progress, I will be able to give you more information. I am running the warehouse this year, so I will be there a lot. And if you need to contact me about volunteering, my number is in the news and views. My number is in the box. My number is in the phone book. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
One other thing is the warehouse that he's talking about is at the Hernando County Fairgrounds, where they will be collecting the toys and sorting them.
Thank you, Rosemary. Ken?
Actually, I have nothing this time except to thank everybody that supported me all through last week. Those of you that have supported me, thank you.
Jerry? Jerry has nothing. I will open it now for member comments. And I have here Val.
It's on. Okay, regarding the treasurer's account, treasurer's report. Oh, thank you. Val Stratton, Unit 3. Thank you. It says total operating account ending balance, or it says operating account ending balance 118. But the reality is we have 199,000. So why aren't we reporting all of our accounts to the membership? Who would be double checking this? Because the board is responsible for managing the business, so. You have delegated it to the manager?
Do you want me to look into it? Yeah, come down to the office and I'll be happy to do it. But you're asking me something right now that I don't have that in front of me.
And I have gone down to your office, And I did give you something that would help you prepare the
Yes, you
treasurer's
did.
report.
Absolutely,
And nothing's
you
happened.
did.
So
You
now
did.
I'm asking you publicly. We, the people, I believe, want to know how much money we have. And our true expenses. So if I need to make another appointment at the office, I will, but I would like this corrected. Hopefully by next month, because the expenses are off as well. I put in a separate piece of paper. Can I keep going? I was wondering when the vote by the board for inclusion of these bylaws was done. When did the board vote on that?
All right, per my understanding and per my discussions with Steve and our general manager, and I sent emails out, the board does not take a vote. The board brings the bylaw changes straight to the membership. That's what I was told. That's the procedure that I follow.
Okay.
Steve is the corporate attorney.
So the board does not vote to add them to the budget? Okay,
No,
and
we don't vote for the bylaws to bring them out to the membership. We just bring them to the membership.
Okay, so Jerry could bring 5, you could bring 5, and there's no vote amongst the board, which to bring, put on the ballot.
Everything that was brought came out of the legal team's office for recommendation of changes, all right, as well as a few that we had. We are not overwhelming. We're not changing and throwing out the baby with the bathwater. The ones that were changed are in regards to attendance here, and I think the board of directors needs to be held accountable to you people. If we miss 3 meetings, you need to know why, and I think it's right. Do you have the right to remove us by a recall? Yes, that is another procedural correction. All right, you have 2 ways to remove a director. All right, the treasurer, which was the biggest section, was a recommendation because when that treasurer section was originally written, we did not have a full-time bookkeeper. And that was the last time that section was redone.
So in answer to my question, these bylaw changes were brought to the board from our attorney.
For the most part, yes.
So that is why the board didn't have to take a vote on it? Or they don't ever have to take a vote on it?
We never have to take a vote on it because it's the membership that decides it. Until you guys cast your ballots, it is nothing more than a proposal of change. Unlike any time else that I've seen a proposal for change done to this membership, we invited the corporate attorney into the front side of the conversations in order to keep it channelized and very clear and very concise.
Okay, the reserve amount on the budget, where did that figure come from? The amount that we have to pay for reserve, it's quite a bit from over what was on the reserve study. The reserve study was $445,700, and this budget says it's $527,700 is our reserve contribution. So I was wondering where that higher number came from.
All right, Val, that new number came from, at just the top of the year, we had the reserve study team on site, and they had to make the allocations like they do. We were due for our annual realignment. It's once every 3 years or 5? 5. And we were in that window. So the old number, which was probably the report that you're going off of, all right, we're going to go ahead and step it up to the new number to make sure that we're following what the reserve company has specified.
Okay, except for, as far as I know, Carol, I've asked for the 2022 reserve study and I was told it's not ready yet. So how was it ready to give this number if it's not ready to give to members when they ask for that record to view?
What they did is they took that number off the proposal from them. We still do not have the hard copy from them, the company that generates that report. That would be a good question for Carol.
Reserve advisors. Reserve advisors.
Reserve advisors is what she said, thank you.
Where are reserve advisors on it?
Where are they?
I don't know, but they've done our reserve study for quite a few years, since 2009. So anyway, once I guess this is done, then we can ask for a copy. I did ask for a copy, or I did ask to view it.
You asked for the audit.
No, I didn't. I asked to review the reserve study.
No, you asked for the audit, and that's what I wrote. It's a draft. The audit's a draft, remember? Okay, well,
We'll correct this tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, and I'll be looking forward to an appointment with you.
Sue Taylor.
Sue Taylor, Unit 4. I have a, I don't know what you want to call it, whether it's a complaint. Sorry. Got it. I've been running the ceramic class since 2019, and I've had no problems. I've been running it for Rocky. He turned it over to me after he took sick and lost his wife and his son. And I've been doing, I thought was a good job, have no problems, until recently, just before some of the snowbirds started coming back. I went to set up my room, as I do every Friday and Saturday morning, and there was a piano in there with everything else that goes with it, and a pile of chairs and so forth. So I asked the manager, or whoever he is that's running the clubhouse right now, if they could be removed so that, because I thought it was a fire hazard, I spoke to one of the workers ahead of him, and I mentioned, I know of a fire marshal. And that's dangerous the way the room is set up with everything in it. I have 8 tables in that room. That's how big the party is. So many this way, so many this way. The ones at the end where the piano is, if anything should happen, they can't get out that way. Because the table's here and the chairs are almost against the piano, which to me is a fire hazard. So the person went and told Ken, that's his name, Mike, about it. He came to me like this and called me out of my room. I went out to speak with him, and I got upset with what he was telling me. And I said, I need to get back to my room. His words were, it's not your room, it's my room. Now, I was not the only one that heard this, my whole class did. I got shook up. It's our room. We pay for our room. I was so shook up that I just walked back. He let me go. I went back to my room to sit down and cool down. And all my class actually were very sad that this was done to me this way. I only do it for everyone in here, for something for them to do. I don't get paid for what I do. I do it out of the goodness of my heart because we all need something to do. It makes us happy.
I'm very sorry that happened.
So are we.
Oh, please, let me finish, please. I sometimes things are said in the heat of the moment. Our staff gets overwhelmed at times, and maybe they're not always as condescending or as thoughtful as they should be. And I apologize for my staff. And the general manager and I have already talked with Mike, so we know what the issue was and what happened. And all I can do is apologize to you and say it won't happen again. I have no idea. We have to ask Mike. Is the piano being removed, Mike?
No, it's not.
No, it is not.
No, she does not use all the tables.
All right, let's not give Mike a chance. He listened to what you guys said. Show him the same amount of respect.
The piano is in there for the Music Airs, another Brookridge group. Is it not?
Can it not be in any other rooms?
If we keep that, because they rehearse in there.
I was told they could rehearse anywhere, and that was by a member.
That's where they're rehearsing.
I was told they could rehearse anywhere, and that was by a member. It's not about acoustics, it's not
No,
about space.
it's what we have set up and scheduling.
I'm going to interject. You're saying the number of tables aren't used. We have a full roster based on club rules, how many people can be part of our club. If we have full attendance...
Can you please identify yourself?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Hi, Jude Bacoli, Unit 4. My concern is this. We don't use every table every month. I mean every week. No, we don't. We don't use every table every day. It changes from Friday to Saturday. It is a fluctuating attendance. But we have a full roster according to club rules. If that full roster comes, all those tables will be occupied. And as the snowbirds return, they will be full. We know this from past experience. So that is our concern, is that you might walk in on a Friday at 11 o'clock and it's not full, but that doesn't mean Saturday at noon, it won't be. And so it should be set up accordingly to, we were told, maximum occupancy of the room. That's it. Is it 36? 46. Thank you all.
All right, now historically, the ceramics room was about 3/4 the size it is now.
We're not talking history.
No, I'm talking history.
We're talking about current rules and current occupancy.
Right.
That room was, yeah, you know
And
what? The clubhouse might have been a different size at some point in the history. That doesn't change, the fire code changes. As the room size changes, the fire code changes.
I gave Sue a couple options. One was to remove 2 tables or to limit the number of people who attend her session.
That is set by club rules.
All right, one at a time, please.
I'm sorry.
Put the piano outside. Put the piano outside. It doesn't work anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's settle down. We have a young lady approaching the podium. Let's give her a chance to speak. Let's show her the same respect she requires of us.
Okay, my name is Cindy Lewis, Unit 1. How can you limit the number of people that join a club by saying, we'll take some tables away? Sue never knows from Friday to Saturday how many people that have signed up for ceramics will actually show up. Some may show up for a couple hours from 9 to 11. Some may show up from 11 to 2. She has to have a table, a place for them to sit. That's what we pay for. It's our club. It's our clubhouse. How can you tell her, take down 2 tables? You can't do that. Correct? You can't tell her, take down 2 tables. And I've been a member of ceramics for over 2 years. When I first started, there was no piano in there. There was no piano in there. Where was it then? Why is it there now to be in our way as our club is growing?
We have reserved that room. Music Airs has reserved that room.
Ceramics has reserved that room for 2 days.
But we have been in that room to rehearse for our concerts.
Yeah, but for how long?
It's only from October to December.
So why can't you move it out?
We're not going to move out again. We are not going to move that piano. We are not going to remove that piano.
Where were you before?
We were in here, but the reason we are not in here is because at the time, originally, we were a big group. We were over 30 people. We now have
Ceramics
only...
is a big group, over 30 people.
Excuse me, may I finish speaking? We have only... Excuse me, she was interrupting me. I was trying to explain something.
Forget it. If they're not going to listen, we're all
No.
Oh, but they can talk disrespectful to us.
We're not arguing, we're just asking questions. I am too. Ceramics is over 30 people now. We need all those tables.
And we have 70 to 80 groups that make up Brookridge, besides the residents.
Correct.
We're trying to accommodate everyone.
Correct.
We're not singling out anyone.
Correct.
So we're doing our best to accommodate every group. The problem is, if we keep moving the piano back and forth, we have to pay to get it retuned. Who's going to pay for that?
What did you do years before this?
We spent a lot of money retuning the piano.
So ceramics has to bite the bullet?
I could ask.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's kill the background noise and allow the 2 speakers to speak. Otherwise, I'll be honest, I'll put a motion on the floor to close this meeting down right now.
Well, of course you will, because you don't want to answer questions.
I'll answer the question, but you could also ask poker. We have another group that's in that room.
Correct.
They don't have a problem with it.
Let me speak. They don't have to move 2 tables.
I'm Nancy Whetstone, Unit 4, if you're tracking that. I am a member of the Ceramics Club. I am a member of Music Airs. I'm a musician. I'm the keyboardist for the Music Airs. Moving the piano does affect the piano. It is not good for a piano to be moved. Having the acoustics in the smaller room is much better for the Music Airs for rehearsing and learning their music. Also in here, on Tuesdays when we meet, they're putting up tables. We're fighting 2 things. We're fighting line dancing, and we're fighting putting up tables for bingo. What I would suggest, Mike, is I was looking at the room today when I was in there, because we also rehearse on Wednesdays for a combo with flute, violin, and cello, which again is a much better acoustics. We can hear each other. So I'm speaking as a musician. I was looking in the room today. On the one door when you come in, there's a little refrigerator, and then there's some chairs, and then there's the piano now and some more chairs. Think about if that little refrigerator could move tight up against the card club's big thing, that metal thing, and put the piano tight against the door. That leaves the room for the tables that the additional ceramic attendees use. So just food for thought to do that. But it is very important, if possible, for us to stay in that room as musicians. It makes a big difference. Thank you.
This has nothing to do with ceramics or music airs. My name is Pamela, and I live down on Fortune Hunter Drive. And I'm going to say that this is now a multi-million-dollar corporation. And many, many people are upset with the way money is being spent. The pickup trucks and the gate. I'm sorry? People are very upset about that. And I think you need to be aware of that. You know, money needs to be really watched carefully and spent appropriately. And it's my understanding that one of those new trucks goes home at night with a member of...
They do not.
They do.
If it look, no, to my not, unless it's someone who's working the night shift and stops to get a cup of coffee at their house or something, they don't go home and they don't stay home at night.
That isn't what's been alluded to.
And I will have to look into that, but to my knowledge, that does not happen.
Okay, because...
All right, and I will want to just go back to your multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
I have said that ever since I sat down at this desk. This is a multi-million-dollar company. It's not a mom-and-pop store. In order to keep this development up to date, the way it should be, and not falling back, in 5 years, you're going to spend a whole lot more money upgrading and updating things that will need to be done then. An ongoing plan to keep this development up to where it should be. It costs a little bit of money. The money is not slandered. We are not just spending money because the money is there. That is not what happens here.
All right, Mom.
And it's used for the betterment of this development. That's what we're about.
I would hope so.
Well, it is.
Okay. How many systems were looked at before Gate Century was purchased?
Everything is looked at before anything is purchased.
How many were looked at?
We have 3, and we looked at this for months.
Okay.
It was also brought to this residence last year and looked at. Some of the issues is this is not gate security. They can say it is, but we don't have gate security. Anybody can come in and go out and do what they want. Okay, so then we try to get a plan, get a company that'll come in and give us better gate security, and then, well, we shouldn't be doing that. No. So what is the answer? Do you want or don't you want? Because everything, we need to be in the 21st century, not back 5 years ago. And the trucks, the replacements for the vehicles that we need for these 34 miles of road that are run every single day. Those little cars we had will not stand that kind of 30, 34 mile an hour every day, day in and day out. Nothing is purchased blatantly. Everything is reviewed. We get 3 quotes. We go back and forth. We spend months looking into things. Not, oh, that looks good, I think I'll buy that. That is not what happens. And I'm sorry to feel that way.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm the only one that feels that way. It's my understanding. How many people feel that way? It's my understanding that that system was brought up in a town hall meeting by Jerry. And there was a kibosh put on it. So how come over here?
That's just what I said. You want gate security? Then you don't want gate security. You want something else? You don't want it. No matter what you do, it's not what you want.
How about a push button system?
All those systems. Everyone gets that.
may we move forward? Sandy Lewis, please.
Sandy Lewis, Unit 1. I just have a question about the pool. How long is it going to be closed? I mean, I understand that the pump was old, they ordered the wrong part, or the wrong part came in, okay, and it couldn't be fixed. How old is the pump?
It's obsolete, let's put it that way.
It's obsolete. So my question is, with all of this reserve of money, why are we not buying a new pump and fixing it tomorrow?
Because they don't have any. They don't
What do you mean they don't have any?
The 5 horsepower, 208 volt pump that we need, which pumps 180 gallons a minute, they don't have any.
In the greater Tampa area, they don't have one?
There is none. We had to order all the parts.
But why are we rebuilding something that's obsolete? That doesn't make any sense.
Because we don't have a replacement.
Well, why can't we get a replacement?
They won't be available for 3 to 4 months. They're not
3
going
to
into
4
production.
months. We've been without a pool for over a month now.
No, 2 weeks.
A month. The whole month of October.
October 10th. October 10th, the pump motor blew.
You fixed the heater pump, it ran for 2 days.
That's a different issue. That was an electrical issue. The pool was
The
still
pool
open.
was closed
When?
for the heater pump.
No, they weren't. They
The
were
pool was
open.
closed. 2 days it ran, and now it's been gone. And then,
No, the pump, it was not that.
it's been more than October 10th. I came back from my cruise on the 8th, and it was closed then. It's
No,
been
it
more than
wasn't.
since October 10th.
No.
I
October
came back to
10th.
the pool.
I remember because October 10th, I was up there at midnight. I was up here at midnight because the next day I was in Tampa for a training class.
So you're telling me out of the whole thing, we can't get a new pump for our pool? I mean, there's a lot of pool people in here, I'm sure. We're missing the pool.
If you can find one, let us know. We'll be glad to go look at it.
Well, give us the name of it.
It doesn't exist. It's a Challenger waterfall.
Why can't we get something different then?
There is nothing available. We've gone to our source.
See, I don't understand. Did you call it pool people?
Yes.
You guys are trying to fix it yourself.
They don't have one for the size pool that we run. This is a commercial level pool.
I just don't believe that.
64,000 gallons. We pump 180 gallons a minute.
Can you write that down? 180.
I believe you've answered the question right now, so can we move
So
on?
answering the question is, there's no pool forever.
What size is the pump?
That's what he's telling you.
It's a 5 horsepower, 208 volt, 3-phase pump.
So then the other question is,
The filters are not a problem. We have a,
What about the interface?
this is what.
so we're all adults, why can't we go up to the pool and just sit around the pool and converse?
It's a liability.
For who?
You need to
For Brookridge.
ask Carol.
You have pool monitors.
Carol, will you answer that, please?
Hernando County, when you have to close a pool, the pool deck is included in that closing. You can't come on, if the Hernando County comes in to check that pool and finds you out there, they could revoke our license. So no, when you close the pool deck's also closed. They are trying to Band-Aid it, Band-Aid the equipment so you can use the pool in the meantime while we try and find something else. We're hoping it won't be that long. It's not going to be closed for 3 months. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Is that a promise? Is that a promise?
That it won't be closed for 3 months?
Yes.
Here's a list of all the new compliant pool pumps that you can buy for your pool. It took me 3 minutes.
Pool pumps for our pool. Took her 3 minutes online. Somebody's not doing something. Yeah, you got no problem.
Okay, Debbie Cobb.
there. My name is actually Coble. C-O-B-L-E. I am in Unit 6. I live at 14196 Brookridge Boulevard. I have two questions. My first question is pertaining to the budget meeting that was held on Thursday, October 6th. I know a lot of people here work. I do. This is a 55 plus, it's not a 95 plus. And so with that said, in fairness, a new generation now is coming in. You can see that. And that is a good thing. But I have asked that meetings be more appropriate times, such as evening meetings, so that we have fairness in responses. So my first question, because I could not attend, Tom, who was here from the Financial Committee, spoke in regards to having found 2 sets of books. Tom also made mention of a previous bookkeeper's email that corroborated that information. He spoke that Mr. Jerry Foster and Ms. Gail Metcalf were the previous board presidents should be questioned regarding the 2 sets of books. My questions are, when were these 2 sets of books found? Why weren't the residents informed about this finding sooner instead of at a budget meeting? Was our attorney contacted? And also, Florida statute is extremely clear on when fraud or mismanagement is found or suspected that the association needs to take action. Have you or do you have any plans to either ask Mr. Foster or Ms. Metcalf to step aside or suspend them until a full investigation is conducted? And if not, why? And I have one other question after that. My second question is pertaining to a Zoom meeting that Mr. Foster had held on Wednesday, October 5th, in which Ms. Webster, you were part of. At this meeting, Mr. Foster discussed financial matters, including employees' hours, budget shortfall, and a serious situation that was brought up of our community possibly going into a receivership. Florida statute is very clear in regards to inclusion of all residents at all meetings. Ms. Webster, as president, can you explain why you participated and allowed a meeting in which the majority of the residents was excluded from? What actions have you taken to correct this from happening in the future? If no action, why? And did you plan to inform the community of this meeting and why the majority was excluded from it? Thank you.
First of all, I cannot speak regarding your first question on the advice of my attorney. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. The second is, I was not part of Jerry's Zoom meeting. I happened to be listening to it third hand, and I said, is he talking about our board business? And that was all I said. I was not part of it. I will be honest with all of you and tell you, I was in contact with our attorney regarding his actions. What he did was a fiduciary misconduct, and I can only say that it has been worked on, but I had no part of what he was doing.
You are incorrect. That was not, I did not discuss board business that we were going to.
Ms. Webster, I will say this. I did hear you call in because it seemed like you might have had a problem connecting. So you called in to somebody and was listening via their phone. And that is what I got off the call. And you specifically did ask that person if he was discussing board business. That person was very smart in their remark to you and said no. But these were what was being said. He talked about receivership. He talked about employee hours. He talked about a budget shortfall. That goes to lack of transparency and not including all the residents and things. Board members should not be having these types of meetings outside. And to talk about a receivership is some very serious business. And that affects all of us here. And I was listening on that call. And that was only posted in a select Facebook page, which only holds about 600 people. It was not posted where everybody can be included. And as an association,
I understand that, but I was no part of that. You know, everybody has free will, number one, and I'm sorry, but I've addressed it, and that's it. I'm sorry. I think our board member was totally out of line, and I agree with the public. I agree with all of you, and so therefore, do you have anything else to say?
and what action are you as the president of the board going to take about this? Or if you're not, why are you?
I will be taking action on it, just, okay? If there aren't any more questions or anything,
Linda Waltz, Unit 4. Mary Story and I submitted a letter requesting it to be read at the meeting. We want to know why it wasn't on the agenda, who reviews them, and who decides on whether they'll be read at the meeting or not.
it was not on the agenda, and I cannot answer that for you. I don't know if anybody else can, right at the moment, but I cannot.
We had it stamped and dated on October the 12th. Arlene initialed it, told us that it would be on the agenda. It's in regards to our reserve account and the study. The reserve study lists elements that are to be funded and used for our common areas only. There has been changes in the last couple of years on the spreadsheet that's attached to our budget, adding things on there that are not on the original reserve study. You can't do that. You can't add computers, software, reserve study. Those are not common areas.
They were in the reserves.
They're not in the reserves.
And I'm not going to argue with you tonight, Linda, really. Those comments and the concerns that you had for those items, they were in the reserves. Now, I don't make the reserves, I don't put things in, I don't take them out.
They're on the spreadsheet, but not the reserve that you gave us that was just done. The other thing, any idea when we're going to get the audit back?
Hopefully soon. I can't give you a definite. You people can laugh all you want and you think everything is funny. It isn't funny. No, I told you it was a draft. It was not the final. So please don't put words in my mouth. You people need to understand here that we're volunteers here. We're volunteers working for all of you, and we're not here to take your abuse because you don't have anything else to do. I'm sorry. We're doing this. I don't care. You can go wow wow all you want to. We're doing the very best we can for this whole development. We'd love to have some cooperation. And Linda, if you have nothing else tonight, I'd like to...
We're concerned residents. You know, according to the 725.13, the board is required to have our financial report within 90 days after the close of our fiscal year. Our fiscal year is a calendar year, and the report is to be in our hands 21 days after completion. So we're way past the 90 days. This is the same accountant we've used 2 years in a row, and he was late last year. I know they gave us excuse after excuse. What's the excuse this year? I keep up with the records, bookkeeping, and if I can find discrepancies, and I'm not a CPA, what all is the CPA finding in our books?
I'm sorry, I can't answer that at the moment on the advice of my attorney.
I asked at the last meeting, and I'm still waiting on an answer. Where are they paying for the gas now for code enforcement? It's not Sam's and it's not Sunoco. What credit card are they using?
You're asking me, I don't do that part.
I know, but you were going to get...
I don't know where they go to the gas stations.
You were going to get an answer for me from the last meeting. I asked this, and I still haven't got an answer. Also, last year I was told by the bookkeeper, Lynn, that they did away with the 9,200 account line item, and it was being replaced by 3,000. That's the one that shows where our operating expenses go into reserves. 9200-12. The last time it was on there was in September of 21. But lo and behold, when I got the P&L offline for September this year, it's reappeared. But it hasn't been on there all this time. But I've double checked with other reports. Our reserve money is in there. But it's not showing up on the profit and loss, and it's not showing up on transactions by vendors. So if it's not showing up on our profit and loss all these months, those P&Ls aren't any good.
Mary Story, Unit 6. And I'm requesting, have you reviewed the tape from the 9/21 BOD meeting where the double vote was taken on the budget? And what is the outcome?
The outcome was, it was a majority. It was 4-1.
On a second vote that Rosemary called for, that she cannot call as the chairperson.
I did not call. If you look at the video,
I most certainly did.
I did not call. I've had a number of people review that video.
Rosemary, your exact words was, we have a motion, I have a second, let's take a vote.
I did not say that, Mary.
It was.
It doesn't show on the video.
It most certainly does, and a lot of people have seen it, and therefore...
I don't know where you saw it, but I've had people look at that video.
Well, maybe we need to take a break.
We all looked at it.
Also on your budget, you said the reserve study amount is $527,000. Well, on the printed we received, it says $527,700. Is that a misprint, or are we collecting more money than what reserves actually told us to collect? I'm hoping the timer is stopped because this is my time. Thank you, Ollie. I have copies here if you'd like to see. This is wrong, the reserve study is wrong. The reserve study from the reserve company is wrong. Well, so the information we got from the reserve study is incorrect? We paid them $7,200 to do this. I'm not attacking you, I'm asking you a question, Ann. And I think it's a legitimate question. We paid $7,200 for a reserve study that you're now saying to me has an incorrect figure on? And your figure that you put on the spreadsheet is correct? Well, which is the correct figure? I would think the company that did our reserve study is correct. I would hope to God after that kind of money. The other question that I have as far as the budget is, when you prepared the budget, and you know I attended a lot of the finance committee meetings, you used the profit and loss for a lot of your analysis as to what you were going to put on the budget, correct? Okay, so with this figure, the line item of 9200-12, having not shown there, all of a sudden in July, we were ahead about we were ahead $68,000 to the black. In August, when that line item wasn't there, we were $73,698 ahead. Now it appears in September, we are showing a negative balance of $23,700 and some odd dollars. That line item was not in our P&Ls for 9 months. How much are we really in the red? If it makes that difference by it just showing up now, and 9 months of those figures, and those figures are $45,000 a month, that's a lot of money that those P&Ls could be off. So when can we assume we can have a corrected P&L that will reflect the actual net income for this development? The next question I have is, Carol, okay, well, she stated something as far as the amendments, that now the wording is going to imply that if a board member is 3 consecutive meetings not attending, that he's going to be considered having resigned? Did I understand that correctly? Okay, my question is that the wording that went out on the green ballot for us to vote on? Because if not, that amendment should be struck from that ballot. Because you have one wording going out to people to vote on, and you're giving us another different explanation here. That's not right. None of those amendments should have gone out. So are we going to ignore it? What are we going to do about it? You got 2 different explanations. And only the people watching this meeting and present here tonight will know that that wording has been changed. No, I'm not going to ask them to reprint it. They shouldn't have printed it in the first place. So what is your solution to this problem?
I'm going to reach out to Steve. That's the only thing I can do. Show him what happened. I'm going to present Steve with the original, what was presented to you guys, and then I'm going to present what the printer published. All right? And I'm going to ask him what to do.
I'm assuming what the printer published is what you gave him to publish. So it's what came from the board, the 2 board members and the GM that they drew up.
I don't proofread what goes out to printers. I rely on the staff.
Well, somebody had to. It had to come from the office to be sent to the printer, so somebody has to assume responsibility for this. I have one last question. There's a report that's called the QuickBooks Check Register. I'd like somebody to explain to me why there's 5 entries on that, and under memos it says no receipts turned in. We pay bills without having receipts turned in for them?
For every check that I sign and every invoice, I have an invoice and receipt.
These come on charge cards. They're charge cards, and a charge card bill has to be paid.
Yes.
Right, but I would think you would still want a receipt. Amazon charges that went on Amazon.com, went on charge cards and no receipt was turned in for them. And if you want, I have the proof right here.
I haven't seen the Amazon, Mary. I really haven't.
It's not an Amazon charge card. It went on a charge card. It does not state what charge card, but they were Amazon purchases and one in Office Depot, and it says in memos, no receipt turned in. Bear with me 1 second and I'll be happy to show it to you.
Thank you, Mary. I would like to see it.
Every single one of them is highlighted that says no receipt turned in. I think it's fair time that our residents start getting some honesty and transparency. Thank you.
My name's Steve Smith, I'm in Unit 2. Mine's not really a question, more of an observation. I haven't attended anywhere near as many of these meetings as a lot of the people have. But what's become abundantly clear to me is that, and again, this is not directed at anyone, okay? There's obviously a lot of, shall we say, distrust with regards to the financial situation of the park, okay? Right? I mean, and this is, I don't know how far back this goes, okay? But, and so, to me, I retired after working 42 years, so there's some things you learn by working for companies, right? All right? One of them is we have to get to a base point where we agree that this is what it is. These are the figures, these are accurate. This is what the reserves are, this is what everything is, right? But from that point on, and again, this is no reflection on anyone here, has anybody given any serious thought to making to hiring an outside independent, bonded accountant to deal with these things, so that when people come and ask Ann or Rosemary questions, that's what they're paid to do, right? They know what that is, right? They know what all these figures are. You know, again, you get to a base point. This is here. We go from this point. Now it's up to him or her to say, "You're running the books. You're gonna dock all these things. You're gonna do all these things." To me, I'm getting excited here. I think that would be money very well spent. Thank you.
You certainly made a good point. We absolutely and we are somewhat struggling. We've lost our bookkeeper the early May. We've been working with a new bookkeeper, and it's been a learning experience. And yes, I think that's something that could be looked into, and I appreciate your concerns. Thank you.
Vivian Blair, Unit 4. My question is about the gate. I'm a little confused. The new gate going out, it no longer turns to green when it tells you it's ready to go, and the stop and start lights don't work.
It has to have some more work done. I think they're waiting for more, excuse me, more parts. But yeah, I agree with you. I keep asking about that.
I never know whether I'm supposed to
I go out.
or it's going to come crashing down on me.
I have the same problem, Vivian, when I've been going out too.
So it's in an ongoing process. It's going to get fixed. Thank you. Tarwin, Unit 3. May I face the audience? This is mostly for them. Okay. I want to talk about club packets. If you're an officer in a club, please check your folders out front. If you have not turned in your packet to me by December the 31st of 2022, your rooms for 23 will not be reserved. We have to have a cutoff in order to get our calendars printed on time and have everything ready. Which brings me to, Number two, the deadlines for 2023 are moving up. There will be this week, tomorrow, there will be in your folders, the paper giving you the deadlines for each month. I have to stick to that deadline if we expect to have the news and views by the 1st of each month, okay? So, for the December issue, which I'm working on now, the deadline for articles to me is the 1st of November. My deadline to the printer is the 2nd of November due to the holiday. It'll be the same way in December for January due to the holidays, okay? And like I said, the sheet will be in your box tomorrow giving you all the deadlines for 2023. And please get your packets into us.
Linnell Winky. I live on Scepter Avenue, and I think it's... Can you hear me now? Oh, good. Linnell Winky. I live on Scepter, and I don't know if it's 3 or 4. 4. Thank you. Okay, so my question is this. We get the ballot in the mail, and it has the financials in there, which I kind of think are maybe wrong. Okay. But it says, you know, so say that somebody's just like, oh, price didn't change, we still pay the same amount of money? Oh, yes. Wait a minute. We voted yes to the financials being wrong. Yes. So how do we know how to vote? And there's people already dropping ballots off in the box, but they're wrong because they don't know that they're off, that they're wrong, that it's not the correct financials. So how do we know I mean, do we vote, don't we vote? How do we vote? I vote no, but there are some people that don't know.
The budget is there for your review. You either vote yes or no, that you approve of the budget. That's your choice.
But what if they're not right and you guys tell us, oh, this is the right ones, but they're really not right? How do we?
But if they're in your packet, they've already been approved. Now they go to you for you to decide whether you think they're right. If you don't think they're right, then vote no. I mean, that's the budget. It cannot be changed. That is
it has to be changed because it's not right.
Okay, but it won't be changed this year for 2023.
So next year when we're going to vote again and you go, oh, we're going to have $2 more this year because now we have much more to go up. You know, we have to pay for more stuff. But it was already wrong last year. Do you understand? I mean, it's not right.
You won't know that it's wrong until the end of 2023 then.
I already know.
I'm going to change the subject here, I guess. This is Bill Langcombe from Unit 4. I'm with the RV compound. Everybody seems to help. We're having a lot of people coming into the RV compound. I want people to understand that, you know, that one comment made to me is, I'm a resident, I'm a permanent resident. And these snowbirds and golfers and Canadians, they got spaces in the compound, but they're gone. Well, you get a compound unit for a whole year, annual, from annual meeting to annual meeting. The thing is that everybody is a resident. Everybody that's in here is to be respected as a resident. we're all permanent residents as long as we own a piece of property in here. So let's keep it that way. I don't want to hear this snowbird, this and that, because I deal with people with some real hard feelings about snowbirds and cans. They pay as much money in here as anybody else. And also, I just got a new raise this year as a volunteer. I got 2 more zeros. Another thing is,
I'm gonna double that for you.
all right. The other thing is, if you see campers, people parked out here in the lot overnight, the reason for that is we've had some issues inside the compound that people after at night, they can't see and they run into other people. So the gate is locked at 7 and it's open at 7 in the morning. If you come in here after 7, you park out here in the campground, out here in the lot, where all the lights is on, the road patrol comes in, and you're safe. So that's what we've been doing, and we haven't had any incidents in the compound.
Thank you, Bill.
Rich Red, Unit 3. You got time tonight? How about 10:30? Don't go away. Just let you know, Halloween dance is coming up. Be there. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Halloween dance, we give away prizes. Men's Stubb's going to cook. Just like it was years ago, we're going to do it again. Even though it's years ago, it'll happen again on Saturday. So have a good time. Come out at 7 to 10, and there'll be music.
Thank you, Rich. Anyone else? Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Harrison, Unit 4. First thing I'd like to talk about, I know the ballots are out, the voting, well, anyway, I'm going to the administration on the proposed budget. One of the line items is printing. This year, for the first 6 months, it costs, well, it shows $9,400. For next year, we're showing $90,000. If you take this year, the next 6 months, so let's say we spend $20,000. Why is it $90,000?
In that line item is the expense for the news and views. The printing for the news and views. On the income side, where it says other, it'll be income for the news and views will be on that side. I work with a debit and a credit. If you have the income, you have an expense. That's why it has not been put in there in other budgets, but in order to have it as a true budget, you have to show that.
So what you're saying is costing us more to print the news and views than what's getting in revenue?
No, we average, at the end of the year, we will average around $10,000 income on the news and views. Okay? And that will show in the income side, where it says other, there'll be, on that line item, there'll be the income from the news and views, and also we're beginning to get some income from the Friday night bingo that we have not received in a long time. And that is also included in there.
Okay, I may be done, but other years...
No, you're not done.
Okay. Other years, we budgeted $7,500